everyone. So I pride myself on being a good cat, not owner. I don't own them, but like a cat whisperer. I pride myself on being a really good cat whisperer. And I love animals so much. But anybody that says, whether it's a pet or a human child, anybody that says, I don't have favorites is fucking lying. Everybody has favorites. How can you not have a favorite? Doesn't mean that you love them more. I don't equate that with more love. I just equate it with like a preference or something. What I'm getting at here is like, out of 100% of my love that I give to these pets, a good 85% went to Hades. If I'm being honest, it's probably more like upwards of 90% of my love went to him the whole time I had him. And we've had these other cats for years too. But I realized ever since he departed this earth that I haven't been giving the other cats as much quality time as I thought I had, because all of a sudden they seem happier because I'm petting them more and like I'm checking in with them, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm like the worst cat whisperer ever because they feel like neglected. Have I been neglecting them for years? Or did they just get used to it and they knew that like Hades was going to get the most love? I don't fucking know. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. He didn't get the most love. Yeah, he did. Never mind. Ugh. But yeah, these three cats, I've been waiting for them to get depressed, and that has not happened. It's not like they're bouncing around with joy. And we're all still trying to figure out, like, what is our new normal, but we're kind of getting into, like, a new routine. And, yeah, the other cats really like to be around me. And, I mean, I know that they miss Hades, but I feel bad. I was like, oh man, I'm sorry guys. I didn't realize that like I had been withholding on, not knowingly withholding like love from you. I did not mean to do that. So now I have 3 new recruits into my cult, and I'll get into that another time. I don't want to turn this into a cat cult episode, but yeah. Whoopsie. So I am going to title this episode, I'm Not Worth It. Even though I know that I am. But there are many times where I just feel like I'm not. And no amount of rational thinking is going to talk me out of that. So it's definitely still something I need to work on. And so something very simple just happened. And I made a big deal about it in my head, which, I mean, that's pretty typical for autistics. But so I'm over here like working on my course, which, you know, I'll talk more about when it gets done, or close to done. No, when it's done. And so like that's been my hyper focus. Like I've been on this course, like I've been gathering all the information, putting it together, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, at the same time, I'm looking for work. I have a set of established clients. They send me stuff here and there. I am still looking for work on other platforms. And so like, thankfully, the universe sent me work in the form of a regular client. So he reaches out and he's like, I have 2 books. One is a short one. One is 500 pages. And can you do it? Like there's, you know, he needed them done like pretty quickly. The first one, at least, it was 55 pages. That's not like that big of a book. But anyways, so like this is something that I'm sorry if I'm jumping around already, but whatever. This is something that, like, this is pretty embarrassing to say. I have no business being a freelancer. That's just how I feel. Especially lately. Like, I am like 5 years into this gig, and I'm still not where I want to be. I'm not even close, which is why I'm trying to get the fuck out of the editing world, because that doesn't seem like it's going to pay the bills. But I am keeping my set of established clients, and I will work for them whenever they send me some, because that's what you do. And I do like to edit. I'm not passionate about it. So he reaches out and I give him my fee. I just remind him of it. So the embarrassing part is, over the years, I have applied for projects, and let's say that the client was offering, I don't know, $15 per 1,000 words that you edit or proofread, you know, like they each have their own fees. Sometimes they're looking for like, what are yours? Or this is the max budget that they have. They can't go over it, whatever. And so there's been plenty of times where I apply to projects with my regular fee, which I don't know if I want to say it because it's pretty not that high, apparently, me numbers. I don't know. Oh, I really should have consulted with Alicia before I did a lot of this stuff. And then there's clients where whatever their proposed fee is, if it's higher than mine, I'm going to go with theirs. And this guy was one of those people. And so in the past, like, he pays me $20 per 1,000 words, and I just pretend like that's been my rate all along. And it is so embarrassing. And so we settled on $1,500 for the 2 books because that's like more than enough. But he had reached out and he's like, yeah, I mean, 1,500 is kind of my max. So it's probably like a little bit more, worth a little bit more than that. But like at this point, I'm not going to say no to $1,500. So like, that's great. But the part that like, I always never deal well with is the part where they want to pay you ahead of time. And I'm at least smart enough to know that like proper freelancers, the ones who know what they're doing, they charge half up front and then half at the end, the rest of it at the end, so that they don't get gypped. I've never been gypped. I've been gypped like, well, I shouldn't say that, like twice, maybe once. I mean, like, I had those issues with Upwork with those couple of people, but I've never had somebody just like straight up, bye, like, thanks for the work, I'm not going to pay you. Like, I can't recall that ever happening to me. So that's why I've kind of always just been, I'll do the work, you pay me at the end, because I want to make sure people are happy, whatever. I'm not a proper freelancer. I don't do it the right way. I'm afraid to do it the right way. I've always been afraid to do it the right way. So he goes, let me give you, so he's going to send me the little book later today. And then he's going to send me the bigger book next week on May 1st. He wants to go ahead and start paying me for that second bigger book before I'm even starting on it yet. So he goes, why don't you send me an invoice for $500? And then when I send you the bigger book on May 1st, you can send me an invoice for another $500. And then at the end, for the last $500. And I just got done pacing the house. Like, I just paced for like 15 minutes. And then I just did this like weird like monologue. I don't know what I was doing. I was just like repeating myself over and over, like, why do you have to pay me up front? Why do you have to put me in this situation where I have to, like, yes, Seth, please give me the money now. Like, I don't like doing this. I sound like a nutcase, but I don't like getting money up front like this. It freaks me out, and I understand, look, I'm not that dumb. I'm not dumb. I'm not that dumb. Wait, I'm not dumb at all? That's not a question. I'm not. Oh my God, this is just, I've only been up for a few hours. I don't like this. I don't like when people are willing to just, like, if you're going to pay me, if you want me to invoice you $500, I'm supposed to do it on the day you send the book, not before you actually send the book. That's not really how it's supposed to go, at least as far as I know. There are so many autistic people who are editors. And they really know, like, what they're doing, at least according to, like, what I'm seeing. They know what they're doing. They don't struggle with this. So, like, why am I struggling with this? I have a good relationship with my clients. I've never once broken trust. And, like, I just don't feel like, why would somebody be like, here, take, like, a whole $1,000 before you even start the book? Why would somebody trust me like that? I mean, obviously, I'm not going to do anything. Like, I'm going to do the work, duh. But why? Why would you just send $1,000 to somebody? I don't care how long you've been working for them. Like, why? Why would you do that? And I don't like when things, like, this isn't how it's supposed to go. That's why I sound the way I sound right now. That's why I'm on here. Because I feel pretty anxious. And this is just another big old sign that I am supposed to just not really be freelancing like this anymore, because I apparently don't know how to do it. I don't know how to set appropriate rates. And not to mention, like, everybody's having issues with, like, finding work, like, just some weird shit's going on with, like, the editing world, at least for copy editing and proofreading, and, or, I don't know, I'm on all kinds of platforms. I'm just so sick of this shit, and, like, I'm on here fucking bitching. 10 minutes in, I'm sitting here bitching because somebody wants to give me money that I need. Like, what is wrong with that? That is not normal. I mean, I get used to doing things a certain way, so obviously I know that, like, I prefer the way I've always done it. Because that's how I like the way I do my work. I like the way I have it set up. You send me the book, I do the work, I send it to you, you say good job, and then you pay me, and then we move on with our lives. And I have always liked that way of doing work. I don't like getting the money ahead of time. And there's also the worry, like, well, what if I let them down or something like that, or they think I didn't do a good enough job? And like, all of that isn't even true, because I know I do good work, and I know that they love my work, and I just don't feel like I'm worth being, like, why are you giving me, like, all that money before I even start the job? And this dude isn't even thinking. I just wrote him back. I was like, oh, yeah, I'll send over the first invoice later when I get home. Like, I'm home right now, but I just needed to get on here first before, like, I did that. Why can't I just be like, hey, thanks for the $1,000 and for trusting me and the relationship that we have built over the last few years? Like, why can't it just be as simple as that inside my head? Why is it that, like, something good happens and then I go into panic mode? Like, I feel a little bit better actually right now, but it's weird that, like, I just worked myself up over something that was positive, but that I didn't really know how to deal with. And I also just think that, like, I'm really not, I don't know. Like, I know I'm worth what I charge or what people pay me. I do good work. I am such a good worker. And you guys know, like, that is like one of the, how am I going to word this? We just, autistic people are good at working. And I don't mean to, like, say that nobody else is, or like we're the very best at it, but we are very good workers. We take our work seriously. We always have, like, the right goals in mind. You know what I mean? Like, I always just want to do a good job for somebody. I just, I want to exceed their expectations, because that's what I would want if I was paying for somebody to do work for me. I want them to, hopefully exceed my expectations a little bit. And when that happens, it feels awesome. Like, I've had people do stuff for me in the past and they went above and beyond what I even asked. And I was like, oh my God, like, this is fucking great. And I just like to give that feeling to other people. But I suppose I just don't want to be, like, compensated for it ahead of time. I don't know. And, I was pacing back and forth, because that is what I do sometimes when things like this happen, especially when I'm the only one at home, because Alicia's still at work. I don't really pace when she's home. But yeah, like, I just went back and forth, and I was like, why is he doing it like this? He's never done it like this before. Why is he doing it like this? Because, like, because he's just grateful that I'm okay with his $1,500 budget, and he wants to just, like, I don't know, like, is that why? And it's just, but why? Are there any other autistic freelancers out there who suck at freelancing like I do? I'm just gonna admit it. I suck at it. I have been trying to figure this game out for years, and I can't do it. And I don't even think I want to do it anymore. Like, I don't want to just keep trying to, I know I've been on here before. I don't want to get into all that. I'm just done with this world of editing and proofreading. And I only just want to keep doing it for the people I have been doing it for years. I'm tired of, like, grinding and trying to find these fucking jobs that, like, used to be so plentiful and now they're not. And even during the pandemic, like, when the pandemic was, like, in full force and everybody was on lockdown and everybody was trying to learn how to make money from home, I still had so many opportunities for work that were handed to me. And now it's just, the shit's drying up and it's just weird. It just seems like it's happening all at once. And I'm not the only freelancer that's noticing this. And, like, could be very temporary too. This is probably just maybe something temporary, and I'm making a big deal out of it. I don't know. But, I've been, like, kind of embarrassed to say on here before. I've always felt that, like, I'm just not a good freelancer. I had to teach myself how to make money on my own when I just up and quit my last job because I couldn't take people anymore. And I did a good job figuring all that stuff out. And you would think that after 5 years, I would be where I wanted to be, but I'm not even close to that. And it's frustrating. I want to be able to do this with more ease. And, and then finally, like, I get, well, it's going to be more than 1,500, whatever this other second book is. He hasn't sent me it yet. But anyways, like, I need this money. I want this money. And I know I deserve it because I'm going to do, like, the best work. This guy loves me. But at the same time, like, why couldn't he just wait till the end to pay me? Should I post this? I don't know. I'm just going to go ahead and post this. I feel like I'm not ashamed. I hope anybody, I don't confuse embarrassment with shame, please. I'm not ashamed of myself. I'm not ashamed that, like, I'm a pretty shitty freelancer. It's just the truth. I'm just embarrassed, that's all. I can't figure this out. It's so hard. And it's not like Alicia hasn't been helpful, but, like, kind of, like, she's been helpful, but she's also neurodiverse. She's neurodiverse. So, like, she doesn't know the answers to some of these questions either. And that's frustrating because, like, when I go to the person who, like, gives me answers for everything and, like, they're struggling with, like, the same stuff I'm struggling with, that's not helpful. And it's not her fault. But, it's lonely trying to figure things out on your own. And the reward when you teach yourself how to do something is just awesome. Like, I'm teaching myself all kinds of new things, like with, like, technology that I didn't think I could do before. I never thought I was, like, a decent writer. I actually think I am a little bit. And I realized I've put myself in this box where, like, I can't do this, and this. So I'm just going to go ahead and edit and proofread books because I know that, like, I am really good with grammar. And and then that's the box I put myself in, and I knew I was good at those things, and I didn't leave room for considering other things I could be good at that I could try to make, like, an income off of or whatever. And so, like, this week I have been doing other things just completely different from what I've been doing, other things I'm working on, and I feel like it feels right in my gut. It feels like aligned with what I should be doing. It doesn't bring me any stress. It makes me want to get up in the morning, and I know this sounds cheesy. I've said some of this before, but I know that, like, I'm making the right move, and I also am very grateful for any money that comes my way. Like, I am going to work so hard on this dude's books, and I'm going to earn every single penny of that money. But, my day for the first couple hours that I was awake was going well. I was organized. I was working. I was, like, doing this, doing that, getting up here and there to take a break, do a chore, go back to work. I was feeling great. I was like, this is great. What a good day. And then he sends me that, and he's like, I'm going to go ahead and pay you ahead of time. And then I got completely derailed and went off the deep end over something that, like, is not a bad thing. It's a positive thing, and I don't know how to deal with it. But what I did was I just wrote him back, and I said, did I tell you what I said? I think I did. I just wrote him back, and I was like, what would an ordinary person say in this situation? Like, what would an ordinary... And I was like, please, like, I want to just try to think of this answer for myself and not consult Mr. ChatGPT on, like, what do I say to this client? So I was like, let me see if I can do it myself. What would an ordinary person say? So I just said, hey, that's really nice of you. I really appreciate it. I will send you the first invoice when I get home later. And I left it at that, and I sent it. And that's a perfectly acceptable response. That's a response that, like, anybody would send. But I'm sitting here like, is that, like, convey how much I appreciate that he's willing to pay me ahead of time? Like, I don't know. I'm not really that appreciative, even though I should be. But, like, oh, do you see how this sounds? I know you guys will understand this way of thinking. Oh my God. Why? Why does my brain do this to me? All right, well, this is coming up on 20 minutes. You don't have to listen to this bullshit anymore. I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I really hope this was relatable. I really, 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 like, Please, if there's anybody out there, I will not judge you. If you think that you're a shitty freelancer, I am too. So can you email me and like make me feel better about myself? Because if you felt better about yourself after listening to this episode, ain't it only fair to pay it forward and let me know, like, hey, I don't think I'm that great either. Because I would love to not be the only one that doesn't know what the fuck they're doing in this world. Especially when other autistic people know what they're doing. Ugh, so frustrating. But anyways, thank you very much for listening. I hope this was relatable, like I said, and goodbye.